in the verse can stop me.
What's going on, guys? My name is Aldeniro, and welcome to episode 90 of the Midnight Hour. This is a really important episode, as you all know, because 90 is my last name. It's also the year I was born, and it's also the year I started this podcast. So there's a trifecta of relevant importance
of 90s,
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we are all 90s kids, everyone listening, even though some of you were born in like 2012. So
Good Christ.
Yeah, that's definitely true as well. I looked it up.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm joined today. Can you guess who I'm joined today by?
And can you guess by my happy dulcet tones who I am?
And by the title, why we're both so happy. Yeah, I feel like this episode has just come at the proper, correct time, because we both hate our lives a lot.
Yeah, so, I am the embodiment of all that is happiness and rainbows at the moment.
Yeah, and also, kids, if you want to know what adulthood is like, this is it. It doesn't get any better for you.
You're about to hear it.
Yeah.
I peaked about 5 years ago.
I love Loosemore's bio on Twitter is peaked intellectually in 1999. I definitely can relate to that. And I do feel, in some aspects, as though 1999 was the last time that I was truly happy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, the Millennium bug that killed all of our computers and put us into the Matrix really put a damper on my mood.
A lot of people don't understand the Millennium bug and the chaos surrounding it, and
everyone was fucking panicking.
Like everyone died. Like planes fell out of the sky. Like it was serious.
Yeah, it was a shame, really.
Yeah, I mean,
but it had to be done.
It did have to be done. We had to cull the weak.
Cull the non-believers.
Yeah, we had to get those people out of the herd. So it's the main thing is that the leader is happy with the decision that we made. So, all right.
This has been a happy start to a happy podcast.
Let's go. So we're talking about things that annoy us, and that's. I have several things in mind, but Jack's gonna go first with a thing that is also relevant to myself after the weekend that I had. So, Jack,
I feel like if we actually listed off everything that annoys us in this podcast, we'd be here for quite a while.
Yeah.
So we'll try and curate the list down to 2 or 3 things a piece.
And perhaps the most annoying thing is that we're definitely going to be guilty of at least one of the things that we each choose to talk about. Or at least maybe not like the overall theme, but like the things that we discuss. Like, I don't know. We're definitely really annoying people, I would imagine, to certain people. I don't know. But yeah, that's that disclaimer out of the way.
Yeah. So this is my first one, is one that I know annoys a lot of people. And it really, really annoys me, is like trains and the underground and commuting in London is just atrocious.
Yeah, it's a joke.
It is truly atrocious. And it really kicked me in the teeth recently, because I've recently had to fork out for another yearly travel card just to get to my job. I've had to pay out 10% of my income to get to my job.
Yeah.
That is the income that I make before tax, so that's nice. And the day after I paid out that money, that lovely chunk of money, for the joys of going to and from work, I was unable to get onto a train because they hadn't put enough carriages on the train. So it was busier than usual. Like they just forgot a carriage.
On the underground?
No, on the main fucking overground train.
Wow. Jesus.
It's unreal. Yeah. And then the next one that I got on, in 28 degrees Celsius weather, the radiators were on. Why?
Oh my god.
Why? This was the day after. It's like Southeastern Railway just spat in my face.
Yeah. And those motherfuckers, Southeastern Railway, they never have those radiators on in the winter.
Southeastern fucked me off on so many levels. I had a train that was delayed last year because the sun was at such an angle in the sky that it was blinding the drivers and they couldn't see the signals.
Oh my god!
My train was delayed because of sunlight.
They can't communicate.
They've never heard of fucking sunglasses
or phones, even, like, at the very least. Like, fair enough, right? If the driver doesn't have sunglasses, that, like, whatever will allow them one oversight in this instance. Surely you just ring someone, ring the command center, and be like, "Hey, is the signal green or red for this thing?" And they'll be like, "It's red. Press the stop button," and then he'll do that.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah.
And that's not even including the horrors that is the tube. Like, I don't mind, surprisingly enough, I don't mind commuting to work because I go at like 6 a.m. before the rush hour.
Yeah.
But coming home, I end up in the midst of the rush hour. And it's just dreadful.
Yeah. I was just in London this past weekend, and I got into Heathrow and got the Heathrow Express into Piccadilly Station. And then I can't remember what station I was actually at because it was so early in the morning, but in one of the stations, I think it was Piccadilly, getting onto the Circle line down there, there's no lift or escalators, right? So if you've got a big suitcase that you're taking...
It's a bitch.
Oh my god. I couldn't believe it. And, like, not only just lugging the suitcase down flights of stairs, this was a 28 kilogram suitcase, which is pretty heavy because I weigh about 24 kilograms. But, like, it's not only that, it's that I'm holding up everybody else, and it makes me feel like anxiety and self-hatred and all of these things. And then, like, you have, like, people saying shit like, "Why'd you bring that suitcase, mate, if you can't fucking carry it?" It's like, I'm so sorry that I have this many possessions. No one actually said that to me, but I know a guy who has that opinion, and he regularly says stuff on his commute, such as, "Why do women always carry suitcases around London when they need a man to help them carry them?" And it's like, give me a fuck.
I was going to say, that does sound like me, but that doesn't sound like me.
Yeah.
Like, another thing that annoys me is people that that like travel with like 3 suitcases to the airport during rush hour. And it's like, bro, everybody knows when rush hour is.
Yeah.
Like, sort your life out.
Yeah.
Actually, like, go somewhere some other time than, like, you've got 3 hours, like an hour in the morning. You've got like from 6 till 7, maybe 7 till 8 in the morning where you just don't travel. Like, it's an hour, it's 1 hour, and then 1 hour in the evening. Maybe 2 in the evening, maybe 2 in the morning. Like, just don't travel then. Like, if you want to get there on time, go early.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see you rushing through London Bridge like 8:30 with 3 suitcases because you're late for your train to get to Heathrow. Like, bruv, if you're late, sort it out. You've got bigger problems here than missing your flight. You've got like underlying issues where you're constantly late. It just baffles me completely.
When I was in Heathrow, I was on that travelator thing, and this woman like barged past me, and she was like, "Sorry, late for a flight." It's like that. At that stage, that is not really my problem. Like, you don't get to. I mean, sure, if you're late for a flight, like, things can happen that will make you late for a flight that are beyond your control. That's true.
Yeah.
But don't be rude about it. It's nobody else's fault. And I understand that she said sorry, but she hit me pretty hard, and I'm 24 kilograms, as we've just discussed. But the tube and the way that it's set up, like, it's a fantastic transport system around London. But by God, could it do with some infrastructural upgrades? Like, they regularly close those lines for maintenance as well. Like, they do maintenance on the tube every night, as far as I know. On the lines that don't stay open late, they close them at 11:30, and they do maintenance on them and stuff. There's all the like newer lines are amazing. The DLR line, which runs around the kind of rich area, and it's just very fancy and stuff. But the main, like, the big dog of the London Underground, like the Central line and the Northern line, like, some of the stations are so grim. It's just
I'm convinced that the Central line actually goes so deep into London, you circle like the outer core Earth because it's so fucking hot. Like,
I know.
You'd think that opening the windows and that thing travelling, because they get up to like 30 mile an hour at times. You think are nice, but it's not. It's just hot air.
Yeah,
it's like a constant stream of opening the oven as soon as you've bent down.
It's so horrible.
It's unreal.
And I'll tell you one thing, right? I went to Singapore twice in the last year, and their underground system is absolutely phenomenal. Like, it is without a doubt the best transportation system I've ever used in my life. I've been to Barcelona. Their underground system is pretty damn great as well. I was on the Paris one, but that was about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm imagining it's a lot better now than it even was back then.
Yeah.
The London Tube, like I said, it is fantastic.
I mean, you can tell it's the oldest tube system in the world.
It's so damn old. It's decrepit.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it feels unhealthy.
I feel unhealthy getting it. You can see like the dust and the smoke and smog in the air coming down the tube at you.
You absolutely can.
And that's depressing because I know that I'm going to die even... Actually, no, that's quite a happy thought. I'm going to die even quicker.
Yeah.
Another thing that goes hand in hand with commuting and getting the tube is people that don't understand the simplest the simplest idea of stand on the right,
sticking to the right. Left. Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Holy fuck! I work near the Kennington Oval, so the cricket ground. And it's getting to that part of summer where a lot of cricket's being played, and they decided to release everyone from the Kennington Oval at about 10 to 6 this afternoon.
Oh, that's
so
good.
Just as I was leaving work.
Nice.
And yeah, apparently cricket fans have no concept of personal space or queuing or about not just standing in front of the doors when they open or what excuse me means. Or standing on the right, or not stopping as soon as they get out of the train doors. Like, it's unreal. Everything that I hate about commuting was embodied in my journey home today.
Have you ever been to Asia?
No, I haven't.
This isn't politically correct or based on facts or whatever, but from what I've observed in my time in Asia is that Asians have a really cavalier attitude to queuing in that they don't queue, they just swarm things, and then like it's insane. Even like Singapore is a very it's a kind of a culturally unique country in terms of the number of cultures they have in there and how well they coexist with one another, and you can see it in the infrastructure and everything. The way everything looks is a clear blend of Western capitalism and sort of Asian imperialism and stuff like that. And still, in spite of that, the people still don't understand how queuing works. And while it is quite a civilized country, I don't know what it is. It's just the way they run past you on the way to the train. It's almost like a sense of immaturity. Like, that's what it comes off as to me, but I don't actually know what it is. But I have seen the way they get on trains in Japan and stuff, and it's just madness. It's like they don't even understand that they don't have to be all squashed up against each other like that. Like, have you seen those videos of people getting into a carriage and they don't all fit, so the conductor on the platform
shoves them in.
He shoves them in until the door will close. It's horrible, man. Like,
that is a bit how I felt today.
When I was living with Neff, if I used to have to, like, if I was in central London meeting a friend or whatever, going back on the tube at like any time between, I'd say 2 o'clock on to about 10 o'clock, realistically, being on a carriage on the central line means that you are going to be pressed up against people. You're going to sweat. And like, you get off and it's piss and rain and -4, but you're just sweating from being pushed up against multiple people.
Yeah, it's unreal.
It's horrible. Like, it really is just one of the most uncomfortable situations you can be in. And I think it's particularly difficult if you like your personal space, or if you just, if you're not comfortable in crowds, which I would say I'm not, I just don't like groups of people. It really don't know, it just makes me naturally uncomfortable. And being pressed up against people is just, it's not a good way to spend an afternoon.
No, it's really not. And it's like I once tweeted in all of my joy and joyous bounding hilarity that commuting to and from work fits in really well with my favourite hobby of being a fucking sardine between the hours of 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah. It is good that that's your hobby. That's quite lucky. Huh?
Yeah, it's really fortunate.
Oh man, yeah. And I had a relatively pleasant experience in the tube at the weekend. But like, I remember when I was in Brixton, it was like really sunny outside there on Sunday, and like the carriages weren't busy or anything, but just the thought of going down those fucking escalators.
Oh god, yeah.
Standing on the platform with what feels like someone holding a hairdryer directly into your face.
Yeah.
It's so grim. It's
just awful, isn't it?
It's like a stark reminder of your mortality and how fortunate you are to live in a country where the air is somewhat breathable.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like that feeling when you're ill, like you're really under the weather, and you think to yourself as sort of a weird combination, an emotional combination of these two feelings. I will never be better ever again. And secondly, I do not appreciate it when I'm well. I don't appreciate what it's like to be well.
Yeah.
That's what being on the tube is like.
Yeah.
You don't appreciate being above ground.
Being underground. Yeah, the underground is just awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't want to mention work because, like, we were saying this before we started. Obviously, everyone's job is so nuanced that the things that really annoy them are probably quite nuanced things about the job, and you have to know everything about the job to understand it. But I will mention one phrase that was said to me by someone, by my boss, the other day when my workload has increased about tenfold recently. Elle knows this. Elle is aware of how much I'm currently working.
Mine too.
Yeah, like I'm working 8:30 a.m. till 6:30 p.m. with 20 minutes of break. I eat at my desk. I work in a basement. I don't see the sun. It's quite fun. My boss used the wonderful phrase, "Being too busy isn't a good enough excuse."
Oh my god. Oh dear. I think Jack just exhaled his soul. Or what was left
I genuinely, that phrase, when he said it to me, I kind of blinked slowly and thought, yeah, I could kill a man. That's it. There it is. Yeah, that's it.
I don't want to go into work and talk about the work stuff because I don't want to be like, yeah, and when you're paying out a redemption and the template isn't there and you have to add the banking backup, man.
Yeah. But when you've got 4 sheets of A4 and only a 5-sheet stapler to staple it with, and Tim from accounting's looking at you like, "What's wrong with your stapler, mate?" No.
Tim from accounting is a fucking cunt, though. We will say
fuck that. So far off.
There's a thing that I've noticed that I'm going to attempt to decipher here. It's a thing that annoys me that I can't quite articulate or even visualize or anything. But parents in general, when someone becomes a parent, it's like a certain light behind their eyes goes out, like the light that attracts normal people to things like reality or what's happening in the world and stuff like that. And parents have this incredible ability to seemingly hear everything you're saying, but not take any of it in because they're too wrapped up in their own agenda. Like, say they're saying something to you, such as, to make an example up, David Bowie is the best singer ever. And you'll be like, okay, love Bowie, great guy, huge influence, blah blah blah. But there are better singers. Here is one, for example. No, not as good as Bowie. And it will go on like that. The conversation will bounce back and forth forever, and they won't listen to a single thing that you're saying because their mind is made up, and nothing can change that. And I say parents because I've noticed it mainly in parents, and I know that becoming a parent actually, from an evolutionary standpoint, it trains you to actually tune out things that don't matter as much as looking after your kid and stuff like that. But anyway, I was sort of told off in work by a parent, not my parent, just saying this person's parent. I was told off for doing a thing that I didn't do because I wasn't even in on the day that it was done. I was out. And I was trying to explain that for the entire exchange. And, like, she fucking never took that in at all. Like, her mind had been made up. She had to tell me about this thing and why I was wrong. And when met with the retort of, oh, I wasn't in that day, she was so unprepared and so set in her ways, and the profound level of cognitive dissonance required to ignore that point just set in, and she just like, no, you got to look out for when you're doing this. This is about, oh yeah, no, that wasn't me. I wasn't in that day, but I'll look out for it. Thanks. Yeah,
I'll keep an eye out, pal. Yeah, no worries.
Sure. I know there's no way out of this other than me being wrong. So yes, I will do the thing that you're asking of me. That's the thing that I hate, is when people don't fully listen to what you're saying and yet they still attempt to craft an argument, or you know what I mean? I guess you see it everywhere. We will talk about the current sort of political commentary landscape later on in the episode. Maybe I'm just not in the mood for it right now, even though I have a lot to say about it. So I will go with a thing that really annoys me, and it's something we've actually spoken about before, Jack, and it is co-commentators. Not even the main commentators, but specifically in football, the co-commentator, the guy who used to be a footballer, now he's a pundit, and it's his job to while the commentator is reacting to things that happen and describing them, it's the co-commentator's job to explain why it's relevant to the game, to give a tactical insight that is unbecoming of the commentator. And I swear to God, man, the only thing I've learned from 26 years of listening to co-commentators talk about football is that footballers know nothing about football.
No, not a thing.
They haven't got a fucking clue. Do you remember the time Pele said that Nick Barmby was going to be the next Pele?
Oh, fucking
like, this is a guy...
Mate, Pele and Maradona both every other week name someone new who's going to be the next them.
It always makes me laugh so much when Man United fans will say, Scholes is the best midfielder ever. Here's why. And they'll rattle off a list of quotes from Scholes' peers, such as Zidane or like whatever, Iniesta,
and don't forget the old favourite one of him and Ronaldo were in Man United training one day. Yeah. See that tree over there?
Oh my God!
He kicked a ball at a tree. A tree!
I can literally do that right now.
Have you seen Man United's training ground? Seriously, if you're listening, Google it right now. It's fucking surrounded by trees. Of course he hit one. It's in a fucking forest.
Yeah. Oh man, I legit banged my head off the table.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there's one main thing about co-commentators that if people were like, all right, look, you have to live with co-commentators. Who's Andy Townsend is going to be commentating on every... Who's the former Chelsea guy? Ray Wilkins, is that his name? He's another one. He's a... Anyway, like, what they all do, every single one of them, irrespective of where they're from in the world, they say, he's done brilliant there. No.
Yeah, I was literally thinking of the phrase, yeah, he's hit there well. He's got down nice and low, put his body over it, really just put his leg through it.
In and around the 6 yard box. You
literally just described how to kick a football.
But he's done brilliant there. It's not even correct. He has done brilliantly.
Yeah.
He's done brilliant. Like, shut up! That's not a thing.
It's just nonsensical sentences.
That
are there to fill like the space. I wish there was a button that you could press and just listen to the game sound.
I know. I love the game sound.
I don't want to listen to commentators. I don't care if that's fucking Michael Carrick's 35th sideways pass this game. I don't give a shit. I do not care.
Yeah.
Like, what does that stat give to me? Like, as a listener, so I can go, Michael Carrick made 36 sideways passes last game.
Do you know what it is, Jack? It's so you can go on Twitter and say, wow, Michael Carrick, 100% of his sideways passes completed in this game. Full stop. Perfection. Full stop.
Oh.
And then all the fans
Full stop. Lateral.
Yeah.
Cheers up to Joe. Thanks for that one, pal.
It's people always say when I complain about co-commentators, why don't you just watch it without the sound? Like, look, the game is shit without sound, right?
If I wanted to sit here in silence...
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even be watching football.
Yeah, you need the atmosphere, you need the sound that the ball makes as it rattles off the post.
Yeah.
Like, you need things like that. But I don't need to hear Ray Wilkins saying, you stay on your feet, you do not go to the ground. You stay on your feet, son. This is the Champions League. You don't get away with that in Europe. That's a great tackle in the Premier League, but you do not get... Now, do you remember, now, Claudio Bravo has been terrible. I'll preface this story with that fact. But on his debut for Man City, he fumbled a cross. And Gary Neville said, that is a Premier League cross. And
what the fuck does that even mean?
When I had finished projectile vomiting all over the wall, I took a moment to tweet about it. And people replied to me saying, like, yeah, in fairness, mate, more crosses in the Premier League. It's harder for keepers on the continent to deal with that. Okay, fucking later on that day, Joe Hart, in his debut for Torino, completely fucked up a cross and cost them a goal. Like, oh, man.
And, like, that's a Premier League cross. Like,
the arrogance of that statement.
So, by that logic, Man City have obviously just bought their new goalkeeper, now the most expensive goalkeeper in the world.
Yeah.
Cross it at him, because he's from the continent, he can't fucking deal it. The lad has never seen a ball come at him from the sidelines.
Yeah.
He's only ever seen people shoot at him from directly in front of him.
Yeah, England is the only place where people cross a football. So.
Yeah, England is definitely the only place with someone that bombs down the wing and crosses it in.
Yeah.
100%. There is definitely no such thing as overlapping wing backs in somewhere like Italy.
And it's not even English footballers, because doesn't England have like the lowest percentage of domestic players in their squad or whatever it is? It's purely the influence of living in England that makes Antonio Valencia rifle a ball into the box. It's just living in England that makes him do that. Yeah, it's
there's a ton about football that really annoys me.
Same.
People, I like a good statistic, but when you see things like fucking Zlatan Ibrahimovic has won 100% of the games that he's played 23 minutes and 45 seconds in for the last 3.5 years, excluding the first year. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? That means nothing. Like, why are you giving me such difficultly obscure stats? Like, I saw something the other day. Fucking Hal Robson-Kanu has outperformed Marcus Rashford in every area this season. And they listed goals, assists, and minutes played. That's every area, according to this person.
Yeah.
That's literally every area.
Is this player good? Well, he played 3,000 minutes, so I assume he's great.
Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, you're comparing...
Yeah.
Oh, God. Why? Just why?
Yeah. One thing I really love about football fans is when they get a real siege mentality going. And not to pick on Man United, like, I'm sorry for doing that. I've made numerous jokes about Gerrard slipping or Newcastle fans punching horses. So, like, look, if you think that I'm going after your club, I fucking hate all of your clubs. Every single one of you listening to this. Even the Celtic fans, even the Tottenham fans. Fuck you and your club. For real, though, there was what's that guy? His name is like Busby something, and his avatar is a black and white Cantona thing.
Oh yeah, I see him.
He tweeted this, but when Mourinho first was announced as manager of United, and he was saying stuff like, you know why everyone is hating on United? It's because they're scared. They made fun of us under Van Gaal. They pitied us under Moyes. Now they're hating us. It's because they're scared. We're a real threat again, and they don't like it. It's just the most cringeworthy shit I have ever. Yeah, mate. We're all scared of Phil Jones and fucking Daley Blind at centre back. How many more players is he going to play out of position? I can't fucking deal with that level of like, and it is cognitive dissonance. It's complete like tribal bias that just makes you think things that are objectively untrue. Yeah. Nobody is scared of any football team ever. I can tell you right now, if Abramovich bought Rangers Football Club, gave them $1 billion, not a single cell in my body would be reacting to the idea of fear. I couldn't give a shit about stuff like that. Fear is not nobody's scared of your football club. It's football. It's a sport. We'll go to the pub, we'll shout, we'll cheer, but we don't feel fear in our bodies over the fact that you've signed a manager who's won things before. Do you know what I mean? Like, get a grip, for fuck's sake.
Just ignore the fact that generally he seems to instill a poisonous attitude.
Yeah.
Like in the players after about 2 years.
The fact that
pushing them to their limits after winning in the second year. Like,
he is a whining man-child who complains uncontrollably about things that are just his idea that the refs are against him. Remember that spell in the season when United got like 150 goals from an offside position in the space of 2 games?
Oh, yeah.
And Mourinho was like, it's a conspiracy against... Oh, God.
Yeah. I think my favourite thing about, like, football fans and that is just... I've never known or seen a group of people that beat to death memes as much as football fans.
Yeah, I know.
Like, the word bottling, the phrase to bottle something, has lost all meaning to me. Spurs bottled the title this year. They fucking closed down the gap on Chelsea and didn't bottle anything at all.
It's a testament to how good Chelsea were this season.
Yeah. Like, last year, against Leicester, they bottled it. But
and against Chelsea.
Yeah, but this year, no. Like, fucking Wenger getting another contract. 4. Give it up. Like that kind of consistency is something to be respected.
He's literally their most successful manager ever.
Yeah. It's... to keep a club with no real investment.
Yeah, and stadium debt.
Through massive stadium debt. And to have it all paid off flawlessly while maintaining a Champions League spot for 20 years. Like, you're having a laugh.
Yeah.
It's just unreal. Like, the owner runs that club like a business, and people are surprised when he's happy to have consistently be fourth in the Premier League. Like, what do you expect?
Which leads us in nicely to the other biggest problem in football. Against modern football. You ever see that hashtag? Whenever I see that hashtag,
God.
I block.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, it's the same as people saying that like when you get again back to the stats. When you get stats and people are like, but what about the goal scoring records before the Premier League was invented? Sky didn't invent football. And it's like, yes, but they've kept consistent records and it's a completely different game now to when it was in 1880. I don't care if fucking Steve from Down the Mines was knocking in 50 a game. Like, it doesn't fucking mean anything. They were playing a formation of 1-4-4.
Steve
with like
from
7
Down
goalkeepers.
The Mines.
Like, it doesn't fucking mean anything. Like, I think, football wasn't invented when the fucking Premier League started, but that's when the most reliable records pertaining to what modern football looks like now started to be kept.
Yeah, I enjoy saying that football was invented by Sky. Like, I really enjoy playing that idea.
It really angers some people.
It makes them so mad.
Like when Mourinho is known for putting out a team to defend like a 1-0 lead, he will close that team down and they will put on, if the team's on form and if Mourinho's planned it well, they will shut that team down and put on a defensive masterclass. That's a fact.
The Chelsea game this season.
Part the bus. It's not good football. It's shit football. Defending's a part of football. Fuck off.
Yeah.
It might be boring to watch, yeah. But you go out and fucking run around for 90 minutes, you fat shit.
But it's only boring if you're a fucking idiot. Like, it's not actually boring.
You can appreciate watching the defensive organisation, but chances are you're just a drunk fucking lout sat at home and thinking he's better than everyone in his armchair.
I can say with, like, complete honesty that the game where Man United beat Chelsea, like, it was a great performance from Man United. Yeah. Where Rashford and Lingard up front, like, linking really well. That was an enjoyable tactical masterclass. Like, you could see what he was doing. You put Herrera on Hazard, which I thought was hilarious when I first saw it, because I was like, lol. But no, it worked.
Closed it down.
Yeah. It was great. Yeah. And then I was at the game where Celtic beat Barcelona 2-1. And Celtic had like -6 shots on target, and Barcelona had 477 shots on target.
Yeah. Don't forget the 300% possession.
Yeah, the 300% possession. That's right. But I wasn't allowed to enjoy that victory, of course, because Celtic just defended.
No. Negative football.
Yeah, no, Celtic should absolutely have gone up against one of the greatest teams ever assembled, and they should absolutely have gone with three strikers. Yeah. They should have gone with a front three of Sean Maloney and Tony Watt and the lads, you know, because like, let's face it, otherwise it doesn't count as a victory. So even though I was in the stadium when everyone around me was jumping and cheering, I had my arms folded because it was a disgrace, to be honest. The only point that I did cheer in the night was when Barcelona scored the consolation goal that they got after they got
best goal ever scored, actually. I think that was.
It was
such negative football.
Well, see, at least they were playing football. Whereas Celtic were not playing football.
Yeah, playing defend ball is just
What does that say about the team that couldn't win? if Barcelona can't beat Celtic, pal, it's not because Celtic were like, we'll play defensive football. That's a known way of beating Barcelona. If that were true, everyone would do it, and Barcelona would never win another game of football. But let's face it, it was a really good setup from Neil Lennon's Celtic team, and it's just I love the bitterness in that. Like it's
definitely. I think what a lot of people need to watch, and it's one of my favourite channels actually, that's football related on YouTube. I don't know if you might have heard of this channel, but You Max It Football.
No, I haven't.
They do these hand drawn videos, they're kind of fake hand drawn, but it explains a ton of tactics and stuff like that. Really fucking good, really interesting. Explains different roles of certain positions, why there's no like proper number 10s anymore, stuff like that. Explains the role of Jesse Lingard in the Man United squad, kind of refuting why people that say that he shouldn't be picked because he's shit and why he shouldn't be offered a new contract. All that kind of stuff, like really interesting stuff.
I think like the average football fan knows nothing about football.
Yeah.
And even like the average person in the sport at the highest level doesn't seem to know a lot about football beyond what they're told by their managers. But I remember I watched this talk from Pep Guardiola. He was given like a speech at some South American university or something. It was like an hour and a half long. And I watched the whole thing. It was subtitled. And his insight on the game was just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
He said so many things that I honestly can put my hand up and say I didn't even know what he was talking about half the time. His insight in the game is like elevated far beyond your fucking like whatever people think about Guardiola's Man City team and everything. I know people think like, oh, Guardiola's not that good. He just has a team of good players. Like, pal, if you think that that's all that football is, like, I'm sorry, but you need to put the fucking controller down and like have a serious examination about the sport, because that's not what it is. Like, sports psychology makes up like what 85% of players' performance ability and stuff like that. That's beyond like the actual tactics of the game. It's not about putting a battery in a toy and then pressing the on button. There's so much more to it. It's so complex that, to be honest, the fact that we even comment on football to the extent that we do is kind of an insult to the level that like top elite coaches the level of thinking that they put into the game.
Yeah.
And so like after watching Guardiola give that talk, he was talking about why Messi was so innovative as a false nine, and why the false nine position should specifically be used for that formation, and like all this stuff. It was amazing. And I just, after seeing that, I was like, all right, that's it. Like, I can't fucking talk about football confidently anymore and stuff like that.
No.
You can't be watching
got no
football.
right to, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't have a fucking right to. Obviously, you have a right to support your team or whatever. But like, when I was at that Barcelona game, there was this fucking guy next to me, and like, the ball would come out to Dani Alves on the right-hand side, and this guy would be like, "Get Wade, Celtic! Fucking peck him up!" And it's like, no. Don't do that. Stay in the middle, because what are Barcelona going to do? Cross the ball into Messi? Is he going to header it into the goal? Like, no, he's not.
No,
like,
he's 5'0". Of course he's not.
It's the way like Lennon set the team up to get everyone in the box, because if Barcelona have to go wide or if Barcelona have to shoot from distance, they're not going to do a whole lot to you. And that's what like he had figured out and everything.
Yeah.
And he had like Joe Ledley running around. Joe Ledley, I think, may have had fewest touches for an outfield player, but he closed down play around every single midfield player. He ran the most. He did he covered an unbelievable amount of ground and just did general like great work that is just a level to which the average the average football fan would watch and say, this guy has done fucking nothing for the whole game. Sub him off. Give it to Clavelet. Give it Giggsy.
End of season. Do you know what? I said I fucking hate memes, but I love memes.
I love, they're the best. They're what bring us all together.
Give it buys it till under season. That was actually my favourite. My favourite one is actually that's been coming up around, or came up around a lot when people were getting relegated. Was enjoy Sunderland away, you cunts. That was one of my favourite ones. I thoroughly enjoyed that one, especially when I saw an Ajax fan after the Europa League final replying to Man United saying, "Enjoy buying away, you cunts."
Jack Brown tweeted, "Can't wait till next season when Bayern finish third in their Champions League group and get Arsenal in the UEFA Cup or the Europa League." I butchered all of that, but you got it.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understood. Don't worry.
Should we move on from football?
Yeah, we did quite a lengthy segment on football there, actually.
I really fear that whenever I talk about football, I alienate a little bit more of the audience.
Yeah.
So
we're complaining about it though, so surely the those that don't like football can understand our annoyance.
Yeah, that's true. But we complain about one of the most supported teams in our fan base, and that's Man United. But we did actually say they did a great job against Chelsea and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that, so yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that we hate all clubs equally.
Yeah, I do hate a lot of clubs. That's true.
Isn't it weird to hate a football club?
It's so bizarre.
And the way you justify
I hate a lot of things that don't particularly make sense.
Yeah, no, I do the same, but I don't think any of them puzzle me as much as the football club thing do. Like, I swear to God, if I have to see another fucking argument between two sets of Arsenal fans about Wenger, like, I think I will have to just delete my Twitter account or something. But it's like...
it really gets on my nerves, to be honest.
There's something unique about their set of fans, that they behave in a certain way, that it's enough to make me view the club in a certain way. And that's strange to me. Like, every club has its own sort of unique status, or like, their fans rather create this unique sort of theme about the club. Like, we know that Liverpool fans take football very, very seriously. The same with Newcastle fans. These fans that come from big cities that are not the capital city, but they're traditionally working class labour cities where there's one specific job for a whole group of people. You know what I mean? They seem to be a lot more passionate than the average football fan. I don't know. It's a very strange. But Everton fans aren't like Liverpool fans, and Sunderland fans aren't like Newcastle fans.
Definitely not.
It's weird. It's very weird.
Yeah. But did you have anything else next on your list that you particularly hate?
Yeah. So
I said hate that annoys you. I'm straight for hate, not even mild annoyance. I've just jumped straight into hate.
I am being forced into a position of defending Donald Trump, and I hate it because the guy is a fucking imbecile when it comes. Like, I know that Donald Trump's a clever man. There is no way he could get to the level that he's at without being clever. I know he got a substantial loan of $1 million and that annoys people, but let's face it, as a businessman, he's pretty astute. He has historically been a very good deal maker. He's been a very good risk taker. Like, he's proven himself to be capable of making decisions that others don't to his own profit. And when he gets himself into a jam, he's been very, very innovative in getting himself out of the jam. There's a great story about how one of his casinos was going bankrupt, and he had like this Japanese multimillionaire, I think he was Japanese, may not have been, visiting his casino, and he won so much money, and Donald Trump could not afford to pay him out because he was about to declare bankruptcy. So to save his casino, he hired a hypnotist and convinced the hypnotist to get the Japanese guy to gamble all his money back into the casino, and it worked. Like, that's fucking clever. That is the work of a clever man.
That's very shady.
Yeah, super shady.
That's incredibly shady.
It's, it's not illegal, so what you gotta do about it? But here's the thing. As a diplomat, as a public speaker, as a politician capable of seeing reason or keeping important trade routes alive, or just even being a guy who knows what the fuck he's talking about when it comes to politics.
Just being not a dick.
Yeah, this man is
just some basic human interaction seems to evade him.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? This is I have come up with this incredible analogy that I don't know how this is gonna play out. I think it might make a great viral video. You know Louis Walsh, the Irish boy band entrepreneur guy.
Yes.
He just pumps out Irish boy bands like there is no tomorrow.
And he pumps into them too. Woo!
Yeah, pumps being the operative word for sure.
Yeah.
So if you watch X Factor, which I haven't done in years, but let's face it, we've all seen it at some point. That's how we formed opinions on it. So back in the day, like, say Jedward are on the stage in X Factor. Louis Walsh, they'll perform. Everyone will slate them for it. Louis Walsh's analysis of their performance has no basis in music whatsoever. It's got nothing to do with music. Louis Walsh knows nothing about music. Louis Walsh is a brilliant marketer. Like, he knows how to market bands. He knows what sells, things like that. Louis Walsh's analysis of their performance is like this. You were brilliant. You were up there. You were on the stage singing the song. It was great. I loved it. That's the extent of his ability to critically analyze music as an art. That's all he has to give. And when his acts are in the finals, and like Danny Minogue or whatever is like, oh, I'm sorry, like that rapping was out of time. Like, listen, John and Edward, everything about that was bad. Louis Walsh will go, come on, they were great. Weren't they great? And he turns around and the fans are like, yeah, they were great. Yeah. Like, he doesn't have any ability to defend his decisions. He doesn't have any ability to like flesh out the things that he's saying. He doesn't know why he thinks what he thinks. And the reason is that he doesn't know what it is to actually know anything about music, because he knows nothing about music.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is the exact same when it comes to politics. Like, I don't know if I said it on this podcast, but there is going to come a time where a journalist is going to say to Donald Trump, Mr. President, what do you think about the Sokovia Accords? Will that be a thing that you'll be looking back on? Do you think maybe Tony Stark could have gotten a better deal for America out of it? And Donald Trump would straight up answer that question. Like, I think it's always important to look for the best deal, okay, for America, okay? America first, thank you. Make America great again. Everyone would cheer. And like he would never answer to it. And if he was ever asked about it again, he would say,
deny it.
Never said that. Yeah.
Yeah, deny that he ever knew someone, and then shortly after say that, oh yeah, I have irrefutable proof that this person's not a Russian fucking agent or some shit.
So now that I've buried Donald Trump, and he will resign, because there's no way he's coming back from that.
No way at all.
He tweeted the other day saying something to the effect of, despite the hateful media kerfuffle.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
And the world lost its mind, and everyone was like, "What does kerfuffle mean? What could kerfuffle mean? Oh, kerfuffle!"
It's just, and honestly, it's a what's it with a wig and fat fingers, like on a smartphone. That's all that is.
But the thing that I'm annoyed at is everyone acting as if this is a really bizarre mental thing. Like, yes, sorry, it's really weird that he didn't delete the tweet, or that no one said to him, "Sir, you've tweeted some gibberish," right? But everyone acting as if kerfuffle is a weird thing. It's obviously the word coverage. Like, come on! He meant to say coverage, he misspelled it, the thing tweeted before he had finished typing, and he had to put his phone back because he's the fucking president. He's going to an important meeting, he's got shit to do. He's a busy man. And everyone's like, "Oh, could kerfuffle mean this?" Like, oh my god, you stupid, dense motherfuckers. It's not even funny anymore. None of this shit is funny anymore. The Twitter presidency isn't funny. Stop enabling him. You're giving him the attention.
What really struck me bizarre is that in the whole lead up to the thing, I thought, you saw all of his tweets and all of these tweets coming back to haunt him when he was like bashing Obama and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's nothing that he isn't a hypocrite about.
Surely, if he becomes president, someone will go through and curate those tweets and get rid of them.
Yeah.
Surely, when he becomes president, he'll stop actually being the one tweeting, and it will just become a PR front, because they can't let this idiot ramble on about potential security things and jeopardize his own presidency.
Yeah.
But no, like, everyone around him's just gone, yeah, just keep doing you, pal.
Yeah.
Got us this far. I mean, we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas. So you just keep doing you, pal.
Yeah.
Which just strikes me as so bizarre. Like, it's not, if I was voting for someone to lead the country that I live in, I don't want someone that tweets their every thought. Yeah. I really don't.
I definitely don't want someone who makes up like a brand for a thing, like the failing New York Times, oh my god, get over it, you child. Like when he was criticized by BuzzFeed, when BuzzFeed leaked that alleged dossier of Russian intel, he was like, BuzzFeed is a failing pile of garbage. Like, the two fucking institutions that you're labeling with the term failing have grown and grown and grown exponentially since their inception. The New York Times has the most subscribers it's ever had, and BuzzFeed, fucking by some miracle, is also the most popular it's ever been, because we live in a dystopian hellscape, and this is the planet we've made for ourselves. We fucking deserve Donald Trump as president for the type of society that we've created. But like, for real, like the way the failing blah blah blah, he has no idea about these things. He just thinks that he knows how the world works. Like, he's like, "Oh, we'll repeal and replace Obamacare." Why is he doing that? He has no idea why he's doing it. He's doing it because he doesn't like Obama. He's to go against everything.
And not only that he has to go against everything that Obama did, but also because, probably, much like why the British government are currently trying to privatise the NHS, is that there's a lot more money for him in privatising healthcare. And not having a nationalised healthcare service.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, politics annoys me.
I know, I hate talking about it so much because I know that I'm pushing people away every single time I mention Donald Trump. There are so many people who listen to this podcast who, like me, but hate it when I talk about politics. And not even because they think that I'm like correct and they're sick of it, but because they think that I'm wrong. And like, that's fine, and I have to understand that there are people out there who, for whatever reason, want Trump to be president, right? Like, maybe for the number of legitimate reasons for not wanting Hillary in there, or whatever, like as a retort to political correctness and things like that. And that's fine, but you have to acknowledge that the dude is not a competent president, and the way he has conducted himself it sets a tone that is unbecoming of a president.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't like it. But anyway, the real thing that annoys me is the way we have to politicize everything all the time now. And oh my god, make it stop. I'm so sick of it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're becoming more and more tribal, which is like really weird because
it's getting to the point where it doesn't matter what like particular parties' policies are. what. It's just a slinging match. Like the general election in the UK at the moment is a verbal slinging match, and everybody and a lot of people have picked their sides before any of the manifestos came out, any of the debates have happened, sticking their fingers in their ears and going la 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 to everything the other side says.
Yeah,
it's
the way that you have to be in a certain tribe to think a certain thing. Like, the way that you have to be absolutely against abortion, but absolutely in favor of gun ownership. Like, that baffles me. Or the way, like, you cannot be a liberal who doesn't believe in global warming. Like, these two things, like, always have to go together. These are, like, the underlying things that keep the party united. I just, it's weird to me, and I don't really fully understand why, and I don't have the answers, but I am so disillusioned with the politicization of everything, and everything becoming a thing that we need to argue about and go back and forth in our selected tribes, and it's just so boring. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's really... Like, I've stopped talking to my friends about politics because it just doesn't lead to a happy conversation.
Yeah, I see. Unlike you, I am incapable of letting things go when someone says something that it's not even that people can disagree with me, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But it's when people say things that they don't know what they're talking about, and they say something. And like, look, I know I've probably done that countless times on the Midnight Hour, but it's when people say stuff like, oh yeah, well, Trump is actually really good because of this thing, and I'll be like, no, that was a thing from Obama. That's nothing to do with Trump. Trump actually wants to get rid of that thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's
not easy. Whereas I find it, so it's like I find myself getting into circular arguments a lot.
Yeah.
So it will literally just be if I see someone that I like disagreeing with my opinion, I don't even bother. I just let it wash over me because I know I'll just get into it. I just do not have the time or energy to get into a circular argument. Like, I'm fucking sick of them.
Yeah, I do that with certain people, I think. Did you have I have another thing that annoys me that I've spoken about
go
before.
For it.
I really, really, really don't like it when people are like, oh, this person's fat, they should go and exercise. Like, just, I'm not one of those liberal snowflakes that think that, like, being morbidly obese is beautiful and that we should allow them to continue, or whatever. But also, I don't think that those who are obese have some kind of extra, like, burden of expectation around them, because we don't know what obesity is. Like, we don't know what causes it. And I know that that's such a ridiculous thing to say to some of you, because you'll be like, it's simple, they just shovel food into their fat faces all day. It's like, that's not true. Like, if you observe the diets of overweight people, and like if you observe the diets of everybody, you'll see that some people are overweight because of hormonal, like, reasons, or like bone fucking diseases and stuff like there's just really weird myriad of factors that go into making a person obese. And it's not a reflection of a lazy personality or a bad person or whatever. And I do think that society sort of looks down on fat people in a way that it shouldn't, and in a way that is unfair, because it's not as simple as they eat more than us. Like, it is literally not as simple as that. And that's the thing that, like, nobody can actually understand, but that's the truth. There are so many studies published that prove this.
So I personally would disagree with you.
Yeah, but you're going by anecdotal evidence, right? Like, your personal experience.
Well, I mean, like, you know, just mentioning things like hormonal imbalances and stuff like that. Say you take the most common one, which you see peddled around a lot, is that people saying that they have a thyroid issue. The thyroid issue generally makes you gain 10 to 15 pounds maximum. It will, like, by no way make you morbidly obese. Like, I think people that are morbidly obese do have a problem. They have it's a mental problem more than anything. It's not as simple as shoveling it into your food. I agree, like shoveling food into your mouth. I agree with that. It is an addiction straight up. So it's more than just stop eating, because they can't. They don't seem to. They probably don't have the. Like, it's the same as just saying to someone, "Oh, I'll just quit heroin cold turkey." Like, just do it. Just stop it.
That's definitely that is definitely a factor too. It's addiction. It's the way addiction works.
Yeah.
It's just applied to food.
It is addiction, and
people can't understand that actually plays into it too.
I think that I personally would say that morbidly obese children, I think that the parents are committing child abuse, because they are setting their children up for a life of mental disorder where they cannot and do not know how to eat and nourish themselves properly with correct amounts of food. Like, it is your responsibility as a parent and as an adult who's controlling a child's diet not to put them in that situation, like, providing they are otherwise healthy.
There's a book by a guy called, I don't know how to pronounce it, Gary Taubes, it's Taubes. It's called Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It. And it's not a nutritionalist self-help book piece of bullshit. Like, this guy is a scientist who has degrees in, I think, 3 different areas, and he's spent his entire life studying this particular issue, obesity. But he has several books about it. Like, he's got one, The Case Against Sugar. He's got another one called Good Calories, Bad Calories. I heard him talking on Sam Harris's podcast, making a really interesting point that I had never even heard before. But it was basically saying that the idea of it being an energy balance diet, and that's how it works, is that food goes in, you exercise, blah, blah, the energy comes up, the energy goes down, that kind of thing. It's actually not true, and pretty much every single study done on this shows that it's actually a hormonal issue, and that the way your body regulates insulin, for example, depends on the amount of carbohydrates that you eat and stuff like that. So it could be, in terms of calories, people could be consuming the exact same amount of calories, but one person could just become literally morbidly obese from consuming the same amount of calories as someone who consumes calories that are from low carbohydrates, or whatever.
Yeah. So I can't dispute that everyone's body reacts differently to certain food types. Like, I lost a fair amount, a bit of weight about a year and a half ago now, and I strictly controlled my calorie intake to the point where I've got a spreadsheet where I weighed myself every morning and tracked everything that I ate for about 3 or 4 months, actually probably more like 6 months, to be honest, and with the simple thing of taking in less calories than my body burned to lose weight. So it didn't matter what the calories were that I was eating, as long as I was eating below what my body burnt in a day, then I was losing weight.
Yeah,
and that's at the end of the day, it does come down to burn more than you consume.
Were you eating mostly protein at that time?
No, carbs.
Oh, really? Carbs?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mostly carbs.
My cousin is a personal trainer, and he makes diet plans for people. So he would be able to speak to this a lot more clearer than I would. But the amount of evidence showing that these are cases that not only that they're unique to each individual, but that science doesn't really have a clear-cut picture of what obesity is. This is an epidemic. It's not caused by it has to be a mixture of a cultural thing, which I do believe it's cultural. I do believe there are fat people who are lazy and they just want to eat all the time. And because I'm such a liberal snowflake, I would really sympathize with those people too, because I'm sure that it's caused by some other kind of addiction, right? I'm a guy with a lot of vices. I need these vices and I can't go without them. I need whatever. Sometimes I just need to put chemicals into my body. But food is the exact same thing as that for a lot of people. You're not going to go up to a smoker and say, I suppose you would actually, nowadays it's actually quite acceptable to say to a smoker, you're a fucking idiot for doing that, why are you doing that and all. But let me tell you, it's very hard to give up smoking.
Yeah.
You know what's really weird is our perception of addiction is so skewed. It's like if you do heroin once, you're only something like 13% more likely to ever do it again.
Yeah.
But if you smoke once, like your odds of it becoming like it is literally harder to give up smoking than it is to give up heroin, like statistically. Like not everyone who does heroin becomes an addict. There are plenty of people who passively use heroin or recreationally use it. Like it's such a difficult concept to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying go out and do heroin. I'm just saying like it's pretty good. Now, our understanding of addiction is so flawed and it's so linear and singular, and I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. There's actually something you'd be really interested in. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but a Reddit user commented about wanting to try heroin, and then for the next like 6 months, his comments on the site on whatever subreddits, like really you can see his devolution into addiction.
Really?
Yeah, and then back out again to sobriety, and it's so bizarre. It's really interesting. It's intense. Like this dude goes from everything to nothing and then starts to come back again. And you can see it in his comments on a bloody forum.
I don't know if I could even bring myself to read it. There's something about even imagining heroin addiction that just makes me feel physically ill.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know I get a lot of shit from some people who are like, fuck you and your PC agenda and all this shit. Like, one thing I really like about political correctness and its influence on the world is the way it's made some people just judge people less. Like, I don't know, like, it's not your job to not judge people or whatever. But I've always been of the belief that if you see someone and they're a cunt or whatever, like you don't know the kind of life they've had or even the kind of day they've had. So it's like, don't know. I know I'm probably one of the main offenders for like judging someone and then commenting on it, and that's fine. But I don't know. I always feel like those who get abused the most for the way they are the ones that like need the most defending or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry, I've also just seen something that has intrigued me while you were talking.
Camera pans to you looking at pictures of cats.
Yeah. And I've seen it around loads. I literally have seems like everybody on the internet has been going wild and so angry about fidget spinners.
What the fuck are they? I don't get it.
I don't know.
I've seen pictures of them.
They're like little. They look like fucking little 3-armed things, and they just spin about, and you hold them on your finger. I don't understand it.
So are they like? What are they on a scale of 1 to like a Beyblade or a Pog? What are these things in terms of their cultural impact right now?
Pog to Beyblade, they're probably closer to Pog. Like they spin like Beyblades, but they're flat like Pogs, but they kind of have 3 prongs like the Isle of Man flag, but not legs.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've never seen them in motion. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the thing that I've seen is that Southampton are taking pre-orders. Southampton Football Club are taking pre-orders for Southampton fidget spinners. I just don't understand why. Like everybody that I see talking about them seems to absolutely hate them.
People are like, so angry.
real anger, and it's like I couldn't give less of a shit.
Yeah, I couldn't give a fuck about this. Like if they make people happy, fine. Jesus.
Yeah, whatever. But another thing, and we've just said it, but people that couldn't give less of a shit wrong. When people say I could give less of a shit, when they're trying to say I couldn't give less of a shit.
Okay, I know why they do it.
Because they're fucking dumb.
No, this is why. It's an American thing.
Of course it is.
It comes from I could care less, right? So the idea here is the idea is like here's a thing that literally doesn't matter to you, and someone says it to you, like fucking Green Day are playing in your back garden, and you go, I could care less. It's sarcasm. It's what they're saying is, oh, I could actually care less about that. Like, they're sarcastically implying that they have an ability to care less about it. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't agree with it because it does sound really fucking stupid, but that's what it is. It's a sarcastic...
Dear Lord.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
I've only ever heard it in the context of someone being serious and meaning to say I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I know. That's what they all mean to say, but it just... I don't know
but how they just miss the point of like the sarcasm bit.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
I just want to go and close my curtains in case Green Day are actually playing in the back garden.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why that is.
Ah. Well, I mean, if you do say could care less or like could of, it's have.
First and foremost.
Like there is no excuse for not knowing the basics of your own language. like you're and your. Like, bruh.
Beyond, like, dyslexia. I have two friends who are dyslexic, and I feel really bad for them when I see them, like, trying to form a sentence. And then, like, a lot of my friends are like, oh, you retard, And it's like, you don't understand that for a dyslexic person, words do not look like words. It's not that they're
like, fine if you have dyslexia.
Yeah.
But if you don't.
Yeah. There's a lot of... there are a lot of grammatical errors that people run into when typing things on the internet. I'm sure I'm guilty of some of that. I never capitalize my sentences on Twitter, but get over it. But yeah, the your and your thing, that gets me every time.
Yeah, I don't know why it gets me so much either, but it just does.
Well, what gets me, right, is I got this email from my boss one day. This was like 7 years ago. Old boss. And she was like, just make sure that you do your payments or before you're going for lunch, right? And she used YOUR for both of them. And I just couldn't get how you have used a word in two different contexts and you don't understand that requires a change in the spelling. Like, I couldn't fucking... Like, what I wanted to do was be like, listen.
Just grab her by the shoulders and shake.
No, it's not even that in anger. Just... So, you know the way there's a word YOU''RE, yeah? And you know the way there's two contexts for your. So listen, why have you just put one in here for the two? Like, what was going through your fucking head when you wrote that email? And I realize that it's kind of a high standard and there's no way of not sounding like a snob when you say it. But I genuinely can't get how it can happen. Like, I mean, I know, like, I have spelled there the wrong way the odd time on Skype, but I'll correct that shit straight away. Like, after I read that, like, sometimes you get distracted when you're writing something.
Yeah.
Like, that'll happen, but you'll recognize your mistake and fix it. I don't... Facebook statuses. People who'll say like they're getting engaged on Facebook statuses and they'll spell something wrong on that and they'll leave it there forever and that will be the and
that'll be the thing that pops up in 7 years' time. Yeah. You're on this day.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your enragement. Sort it out.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible. It's something you learn, like. It's like a fundamental piece of your, like, syntax in your learning and your development. Like, I don't get how people mess it up from there. How do you go wrong from there?
Like, it's something you should have learnt as a child.
Should have.
Yeah.
That's the one that gets me the most. Because, like, how does that even make sense in their head? You should have done that. Like, what does the of mean there? Like, how are you not getting... Like, how do you not
You've barely even abbreviated.
Yeah, it hurts. Like, oh, we're such snobs.
Yeah.
I have one more thing.
Okay.
So I have recently started watching Iron Fist. I'm on episode 2. Now, I did a Google search last night, but the answer surprised me a little bit, I won't lie, but I will ask you the question. In a rough estimation, how many ninjas would you say there are active in the world right now?
Active ninjas?
Yeah.
2,364.
So the answer is 0.
Oh, shit.
Now, the people who write the Marvel comics, I understand it's fiction, it's fantasy, like they have a big green guy and they've got a literal god of thunder with a hammer that only he can, like, alright, let's forget all of that for a moment, because Iron Fist and Daredevil, these are the gritty, real world interpretations of Daredevil is a blind man whose superpower is not being blind, and Iron Fist is a guy who does stuff and has a strong fist.
Yeah.
So, fine, I'm on board with that. But they seem to think that there are roughly 500,000 ninjas who are operating out of New York City.
Out of New York City.
And I just don't understand why there's so many fucking ninjas.
That is... I thought there were less than that worldwide, and they're saying there's double that in New York alone.
Exactly.
That's a lot of ninjas.
It is so many ninjas. There's just not that many ninjas in the world. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's probably a Wilson Fisk in the world. There's probably, you could make a case for there being a Matt Murdock in the world. There's probably a lawyer who can kick the shit out of you and cycle a BMX down a half pipe. You know, there's probably a Daredevil guy out there. Whatever, that's fine. Iron Fist, there's probably a guy with a ludicrously strong punch, even though he's not really that big, and his mustache doesn't connect to his beard. But that's fine. Yeah. These things exist, but there's just not that many ninjas going around.
No. Like, I went for, like, 2,000 odd, because I thought, it'll be something that you have to train for like 30 years, and there'll just be, like, a covenant or two of them somewhere in Japan.
Perfectly reasonable. The number in my head was around that amount as well.
Yeah. Like, I figured they'd all be, like, old Japanese guys, and then there'd be one or two Westerners that had gone over and trained for 30 years. At the beginning weren't accepted at all, but are now...
the best one out of all of them.
Ninjas, like
Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai.
But 5,000, like, ninjas have, if ninjas existed, if there were active ninjas, they'd have high standards.
Yes.
Fact, like, that's an out and out fact.
And they definitely wouldn't get the shit kicked out of them by a blind man.
Exactly.
And I know his superpower is not being blind. Still, it's preposterous.
I have the superpower of 4 senses.
Yeah, that's... But his superpower is that he's not blind, even though he's blind. It makes no fucking sense. There's like an episode of that where it's first season of Daredevil, I think. It's called World on Fire.
Yeah, and the world is literally on fire.
Yeah, but he sees everything. It's just got a little bit of a fiery filter around it. It's phenomenal series, though.
I interpreted that as that he was hearing everything.
Yeah.
The what looked like fire was actually like sound waves bouncing off of things.
I think you're right.
It just looks like the world's on fire.
It does look like the world's on fire, and that's what he says when Foggy is like, "Are you really blind? What do you actually see when you look out of those eyes?" And Matt Murdock is like, "A world on fire."
Yeah.
A really good Foggy impression by me. So by me, a man who has not seen an episode of Daredevil in about 2 years. God. What a show. The first season of that was great, and the second was alright.
I barely watched the second season.
It wasn't that great, but the, what's her name? Elektra was unreal.
I might have to watch it again, or try anyway.
I'd recommend it just for Elektra.
I currently am, like, House of Cards season 5 is currently top of my list.
I'm on like episode 5 of the very first season and have been for the last 2 years. I want to watch it, but it's exhausting sometimes because it reminds me of politics. I saw a really, really good tweet that was like, what's the fucking Frank Underwood in House of Cards goes into a Chipotle and the guy is like, brown rice or fried rice? And Frank turns to the camera and goes, "The rice is irrelevant, but I'll play his game for now."
Oh god, I love the cutaways in that show.
It's brilliant.
like fantastic. And it's like I think it's a couple of seasons in, and I'll try not to give anything away, but they're like Frank hasn't spoken to the camera for a while. Like, he hasn't broken the fourth wall in a while, and then suddenly he does it, and literally everyone I've spoken to was just like, "Oh God, I forgot what that felt like. Oh God, I forgot it when he did that. Oh God, yeah, that's the stuff." And it's like, okay,
yeah, it is really, really good. It's weird because it's like I feel like that's the only show where that technique would work.
yeah, one of the few actors that could pull that off.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have anything else to complain about?
Just briefly on the House of Cards, I do not have free time. I miss free time.
Yeah,
cherish it while it lasts.
Yeah, I totally
if you're at uni and stuff. Oh my God, I miss free. I remember when I used to think 9 to 3 p.m. school days were a long day.
They were a fucking long day though.
But you got break. You got 2 breaks a day, no matter what.
Yeah, but you had to wear a uniform.
You'll probably have to wear a uniform when you go to work anyway.
I don't have to wear a uniform in my work.
I don't have to wear a uniform, but a lot of people do.
We live the dream, let's face it.
Yeah, I live the dream in a basement, getting 20 minutes of sunlight a day.
Yeah.
A dream.
Here's a fucking thing that I hate. Is when you complain about your life and someone goes, "Well, at least you're not a starving kid in Africa." And you're like, well, that's true because, of course, all happiness only counts when it is measured against the unhappiness of another person.
Yeah.
Because that's what a functioning society
I always
is
forgot that my feelings were invalid as long as there's someone out there suffering what is comparatively more than I am. I always forgot that completely invalidates my feelings.
Imagine how utterly depressed you would be if you were to consider that before you did anything ever. Like, imagine how... Like, you would just be crying all the time.
I might go out for a run. Oh, but there's people that are a lot better at running than me. Might as well not bother. Oh, I might go out and hang out with my friends. But the people probably having more fun with other friends. Might as well not bother. Oh, I might have a nap. There's probably someone in a coma. I might not bother.
I might ruin the world, but Donald Trump exists.
Yeah, but Hitler did a pretty solid job.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that would be great fun, that would. I might have this Coca-Cola, but I mean, it's not like it's got cocaine in it anymore. No, I might as well not bother.
Every Coke that I drink has cocaine in it. Oh, yeah. Just kidding, I don't drink cocaine. There's a thing I wanted to say as well that is just lazy opinions that people have, where it's like they hear a thing and then they go, oh, that's because of this. Like, oh, the Sun has been involved in a scandal. Oh, they did it for publicity. Matt Damon is in a Chinese movie. Oh, they're whitewashing it. Like, stop it. Here's the thing. Matt Damon was in the movie The Martian, right? Which was a smash hit in China because they did everything they could to shoehorn the Chinese into that movie.
Oh, yeah, really shoehorned it in.
And it was obvious and, to be honest, kind of ruined the movie for me. But because of that, Matt Damon is a big fucking deal in China. And Hollywood is starting to move into the Chinese box office because it's got that bling bling dollar. So who are they going to fucking start that with? Matt Damon. So fuck off with your whitewashing bullshit. Like, look, I think that whitewashing does exist. It is bad. I don't think Tom Cruise should have been the last samurai. For starters, the fucking sword is bigger than him. But Matt Damon being in this Chinese movie about the Great Wall, which also contains dragons, is not an example of whitewashing. So stop it.
I think the only thing I have to say about that film is the CGI looked so bad.
Yeah, but I think the CGI in Jurassic World looked terrible in the trailers too, but then in the actual movie, like, they touched it up in time, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. I will probably watch it because I just love dragons. I'll watch anything with dragons in them.
Yeah.
So.
One other thing on... I feel like this is way too good of a thing. So, if you've seen the trailer for Murder on the Orient Express... you'll know that it ends with a song.
You're speaking to a very large audience of people here who've seen that trailer.
Yeah. You will know that it doesn't end with a particularly fitting song for the trailer. And there is a wonderful, wonderful man who has taken that and memed the shit out of it, replacing the song at the end of the trailer with various different, also unfitting songs that get more and more hilarious.
Nice.
Every single time.
I'm on board with that.
Absolutely wonderful.
I love a meme that I can participate in.
So have a look on my Twitter. I'll tweet it out, and you can treat yourself to watching every single one of them. Jack's
Twitter will be linked in the description.
Yeah.
And if you can't see it, if I somehow forget to do it, it is JACKXCIII.
Yep.
The IIIs are there for I. That's a weird Twitter.
I'll have you know, friend, that it's actually just my name and then 93 in Roman numerals.
Oh, that's pretty sick. I wish I thought of that. Nice. Well done. It reminds me of Final Fantasy too, which is pretty great.
Yeah. It was it's a far cry from Swaggosaurus, so.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I don't have to say that out loud anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Me changing it to that started as a joke, and then it stuck because someone took the old Twitter name that I had before that. So then I just committed to it for a long while, and then I thought of this one.
Do you remember the time you became Spanish Jack on Twitter? And you only what the fuck was that?
I spent about a week tweeting in Spanish.
That was so weird. And you even did the upside down exclamation mark.
Hey man, if I'm going to commit to a joke, I'm going to commit to it wholeheartedly.
Oh, you really do deserve a much wider audience for this shit. I think we both do. I think that's back when I
was funny. I think the last thing that I tweeted was incredibly mundane.
Yeah, your tweets are very just factual now.
Oh no, my last two tweets before this one, I was drunk at a pub and I was chatting with some of the guys that I play five-a-side football with, and we've never won a game, and we've played about 20 games. We're really bad. And I tweeted twice to call out the sidemen, telling them that we're shit, we went to school with them, and that we're probably better than them, and we'll beat them in five-a-side. They never replied.
They're legit friends of yours, though, right?
They were. Yeah, I went to school with them.
Yeah, it's weird. Quite a few of them follow me on Twitter, and I've met them in person and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still pretty sure that they have no idea who I
am. Pretty sure they have no idea who I am anymore either.
I tell you one thing, right? Something that broke my heart was, Chris Trout. I've met him twice, and I think he is a really fucking cool guy. And I hung out with him and Shifty a fair bit in London at one of those expo event things. And I thought I got along really well with Trout. And he followed me on Twitter, and I had been following him anyway. And he follows 1,300 people, something like that. And he fucking unfollowed me. And I was I was just this is gonna be really awkward if we ever meet again, but also you follow so many people, why not just do the decent thing? How
did you even notice?
Yeah, because oh, you mean how did he notice?
Yeah, me? How did he even notice that he was still following you? Surely he just gets lost.
Well, I want to know why he unfollowed me.
We should start a campaign.
No,
we should start a hashtag.
Fucking hate when people get unfollowed and then they passively bitch about it to their followers to get them to do something.
My favourite thing is you can tell how petty someone is because once a week Twitter automatically tweets saying 5 people unfollowed me and 7 people followed me.
Yeah.
That's how you know someone is petty.
I love it when it says you have lost 1 follower and gained 0 followers.
Someone took time out of their day to go, nah, not for me.
Yeah, not for me, Clive. For real though, if any of you fucking tweet Chris Trout and ask him why he unfollowed me, you're getting blocked. Because I fucking hate that petty, passive shit. I actually don't care that he unfollowed me. I just would kind of like to know why.
Yeah, I'm just nosy in the way that I'd quite like to know why.
Yeah, I've met him twice. We got along really well. I wonder what's the thing I did where he was like, this fucking guy. All he ever tweets about is being dead.
Just one tweet and he was like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah.
That's me. Just holding up his hand, sat alone in his bedroom.
I do often wonder, like I'm quite inoffensive on. Well, maybe I'm not. I don't know. I actually don't know what it must be like to follow me. But there you go. If I don't like people on Twitter, I generally just mute them. So
yeah,
that's different.
But then again, I can't really say much. I have 63 friends on Facebook. So.
Do you?
Yeah.
Jesus.
My mate pointed out, 68 actually, it's more than I thought.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, my mate pointed out, and I like my mate's take on things, he only has people on Facebook that he'd hang out with one-on-one.
Yeah.
So that's the rule I've gone with as well, 68 people.
I have 288.
That's a lot of people you'd hang out with one-on-one.
Yeah. When I first made Facebook, my Facebook Facebook account was just my first name because you didn't have to have two names at the time because I made my Facebook back in 2008.
Back in the day.
And because of that, I would come up first in any search.
Oh, God.
Like on names and stuff. So a bunch of Asians added me because they wanted like a pen pal for the digital era.
Oh, wow.
So I have a whole bunch of Asian friends that I've never met before. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty weird. But then, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of people on there that I would just like to keep in touch with just in case. You know, got a lot of people out there who owe me favors, if you know what I mean.
I, on the other hand, do not.
Yeah, what I gather from you is that you don't like people.
No, I enjoy it. I have my core group of 3 friends, maybe 4 actually. And that's me, I'm good.
That's what it's all about. And then every now and then I come over and we hang out.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun.
We're well overdue for one of those, by the way.
Yeah, that's why you're still a friend of mine on Facebook, because I would hang out with you one-on-one.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I was, when I got into London, my first thought after I got out of the fucking underground was, I actually like London. And I was like, I definitely need to come back here.
Despite the misery that I've just experienced.
Yeah.
Not a bad place.
Yeah. So I was like, I need to hang out with Jack next time I'm in London. So, yeah, we should arrange that sometime. Maybe towards the end of the summer we can have like a Saturday where we get fucked up, go to a casino, lose all our money.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
I enjoy losing money.
Yeah. We both did a pretty good job at it when we went to the casino that time. But
yeah. Never gamble, kids. It's just a bad idea.
She, the one who was with us that night, she actually unfollowed me on Twitter as well. I don't blame her. We have nothing in common, but
no.
Still.
God knows who still follows me on Twitter. I don't know why anyone would.
Well, you've always got to see people.
That's true. Fact.
So will we leave it there?
Yeah.
This hasn't been about the topic for a long time.
No.
All right. Godspeed, listeners. Thanks for 90 episodes of this shit, and
fucking hell.
10 more to go before we reach 100 and end the podcast forever.
Yeah.
So look forward.
We'll end on a low note.
Yeah.
Just
definitely.
sum up our lives.
Yeah. The last episode's going to be 6 minutes long, and
it's just going to be me crying the entire episode.
Yeah, and I might also shed a tear.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Turns out it was things that annoy us all along. Good night.
Yeah. Good night.
You were the one for me. It made me wanna start a family. You were my fantasy. You set me free. You set me free. Now I'm gone, and I'll leave you alone. You set me free. But my OVO Sound Radio. I took the car last night. I swear I drove it coast to coast. Went looking for your love, but didn't get much luck, you know. My mind is racing and I'm thinking I should take it slow. Sometimes I feel like maybe I was wrong. You were the one for me. You made me wanna start a family. You were my fantasy. You set me free. You set me free. Now I'm gone, and I'll leave you alone. You set me free. Now I'm gone. You set me free. You set me free. Your love makes sense to me, but my life gets in the way. I'm not nearly strong enough to take care of the both of us. Your love makes sense to me, but my life gets in the way. I'm not nearly strong enough to take care of the both of us. It's pretty late at night. I doubt that you would ever know. I'm doing 90 on the 10 in my Pacific code. My heart is racing cause you send it into overdrive. Sometimes I tell myself you were the one. You were the one for me. You made me wanna start a family. You were my fantasy. You set me free. You set me free. Now I'm gone, and I'll leave you alone. You set me free. Now I'm gone. You set me free. You set me. Your love makes sense to me, but my life gets in the way. I'm not nearly strong enough to take care of the both of us. Your love makes sense to me, but my life gets in the way. I'm not nearly strong enough to take care of the both of us.
I hope you enjoyed Jordan's guest mix on OVO Sound Radio episode 30.